Hi guys, I hope that you love making a little monster puppet as much as I do. It's pretty easy. You probably recognize the shape. It's that cootie catcher shape or fortune teller that you may have made before. I'm giving you a huge piece of paper. Please don't give up or crumple this paper. It's like a lot of paper. So if you mess up, just try again. You can fold it 100 times, it'll still work. So how many ways can you fold a square in half? Well, let's find out. Whenever I'm going to fold a square, I sort of do this ocean way of crashing so that it has a lot of flexibility. I can scoot it up and really check, double, triple check, that the corners are lined up before I make my fold. And then while I'm pinning it down with one hand, I pull back and spread my crease from the middle out. So there, I've got a fold. I reopened it. Let's see how we can fold it again. Ocean wave crash, tip to tip. I triple check that they're lined up, pull back, and spread out. Sharp creases, taking my time. All right, I still think there's at least 2 more ways I can fold this paper in half. Fold edge to edge, but also check my 2 corners. Make sure it's all as perfect as I can get it. Pin it down, pull back, spread out to the side and the side. And then I can see one more way to fold it in half. Perfect alignment, pull back, spread out. So now you basically have a square pizza with 8 slices. So you can see a corner, but it also doesn't hurt to mark it, because then when you fold into it, you're going to make sure that your corner is just going right onto it. I'm not going to go over it, I'm not going to go under it, just right onto it. So your corner is physically touching that crayon or that pencil or whatever you use. Let's do it from this way. Oh, they're just barely touching before I pull back crease. Now, let's make sure that this one is hitting the right way. It's not going over, under, just barely touching. Hard, sharp creases. And then one last way. Touching, hard, sharp crease. All right, so this is kind of like the Xbox stage, and it might seem like you should keep going from this point, but you have to flip it over. If you forget to flip it over, it won't work out. So you're back to a plain side. In fact, you can make another little dot and do that same fold in again. And that's all there is to it. Touch it just barely. This is where you really have to do a hard crease because your paper is getting thicker and thicker. Hard crease. Making it as geometric as possible. Paper folding like this is kind of comes from a long line of origami where you just have to be patient and do your best job to get things folded and straight. All right, so believe it or not, you're done. The only thing you have to do is pop it up into shape, and the way that I do that is I'll kind of fold it in half. So we've got 4 squares, and I've folded it in half, and then I'm going to kind of stick into puppet hands like this, or maybe underhand like this, and just try to pop it into shape. There we go. So that's maybe a part that's tricky for some people, and you can help each other, but there, that's the shape. We've got some details to add and some gluing to do, but you've already got your puppet. Now, once you flatten it right back out, I'm going to show you the basic location for the eyes. It's 2 of these squares that are side by side. And the nose, you can pick any 2 that you want, but they're next to each other. And the nose holes, or the nostrils, are going to be up in the far corners. You can draw any kind of eyes you want, but my advice is to make them really stand out with bright colors or dark colors. Now, if you want to, you could even start to do the inside of the mouth on these triangles, and I'll show you how. Here's one where I have done 2 eyes and the 2 nostrils, just the same. Then I colored in some fur, and you can do fur, scales, freckles, any kind of skin or covering that you want for your monster, and it's the same on all 4, except that there's 2 eyes and then maybe some nostrils. You can add lots of layers of color for a really good monster. And then, as you'll find out in a bit, these are 2 sections that have inside of the mouth pattern on them. So your actual monster is turned inside out, and then there's the inside of this one's mouth. If you need to kind of see it in action before you go, here I am trying to pop this one back into shape, and you can even kind of make marks while it's in shape, like you could make a big tongue or teeth quickly while you're holding it, and then flatten it back out. These are the 2 areas where you'll be gluing to kind of hold it together, but that comes last. You'll be gluing right up in the corners and then holding it together to dry. So feel free to use, I'm going to flatten this back out, any kind of good construction paper, crayons, or oil pastels to make really bright eyes on your paper that pop out so it really looks like it's alive. And then use crayons to add texture or skin or fur to the rest of your monster, all 4 papers. And you'll see, if you take your time, that you can really have a lot of fun. Also, this is one where I just took some scissors and squinched on the sides to give it a little bit more puppet, and then use any scrap paper that you have to glue in a tongue or any other body parts. So there you have it, folding monster puppets made by you. Rawr, rawr.